Hey, this is Tess McQuiggan, and you're listening to Up Close and Musical here on CJIM, Montreal. Hey, welcome to our show, Up Close and Musical. I'm your host, Tess McQuiggan. Tonight, we're going to have a chance to sit with three up-and-coming Canadian artists from the McLear music community and get to hear who will be hitting the music scene in the near future. Our first guest tonight is Joe Borowsky. Hey, Joe.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
Welcome to our show. So, Joe, let's start off by you telling us a little bit more about yourself and your music.
Sure. Well, I'm Joe Borowsky. I'm from London, Ontario, singer-songwriter of London, Ontario, and just been playing music my whole life. So pretty much started as a kid. Age 11, I think I started, was when I first got my first guitar. So yeah, and I'm just releasing a new album soon. So I've just been kind of working hard at that.
So, Joe, you play guitar. Do you play any other instruments?
I play piano too as well, but it's mostly guitar's like mostly the main instrument.
So, Joe, when did you decide to pursue music? Like, what made you want to do this?
Well, to be honest, I probably didn't. I didn't really want to do music. Like I got my first guitar at age 11. Started playing my whole when I was young, but I pretty much did it for myself as a kid. I didn't really start pursuing it till I was about 25. So I kind of started late.
And was there a specific push or any moment in your life that said, now's the time to pursue this, or now's the time to get on that horse?
I was working in jobs I didn't like. I was kind of just doing, the 9 to 5, and and then I'd go home and I'd play music all night, and I would do that every night. And then I was writing so much music that I got to a point where I was like, I got to start letting people hear what I have to say. So then it just kind of hit me just one day, and I just went and I just quit my job and decided to start pursuing it by teaching and by just by playing music everywhere.
So you teach music, is that right?
Yeah, I started a music school to begin because I'm like, I need to have an income, and I wanted to kind of show people kind of how I play and kind of help people out. So I started a music school.
And you already have one album released, Soul Vision, and you have another one upcoming. Is that right?
Yeah. So my last album was Soul Vision. The new one coming out is called Theories, and it's coming out on the 22nd. So it's a lot different than the first album was, in my opinion. But I'm really excited about it. Like, I'm super pumped about this album. So yeah.
So you yourself, you teach music, but where would you say that you draw your influence from, or who's an influence in your life?
Like in regards to writing.
Yeah, your songs, your own music. Who did you grow up listening to?
I grew up with. I mean, I think my first inspiration was Nirvana.
Nice.
I was a huge Nirvana, and yeah, and then the Smashing Pumpkins. I was big into them, and like it's all over the place though, because like Jewel, the singer Jewel, was a huge influence for me. Jewel was probably my big influence in writing, which people are like, what, Jewel? You just went from Nirvana to Jewel. But then as I got older, it was like Tupac and DMX, and then now it's like like Ed Sheeran and Damien Rice is kind of So I've been all over the place. Like, I've listened to everything, but my main influences started when I was younger. It was like Nirvana and stuff.
And all those people that you just mentioned in bands, all of them, even though they're so different, they all have really strong writing in common. They all have strong lyrical content. Even like you said, DMX. I like his music, and I think he's got some, but questionable lyrics. But all of them have some good lyrical content, which isn't something that you always tend to find in music. So especially for them to influence you like that, those are always strong people to have to fall back on.
I don't think I ever looked at it like that, but now that you've kind of mentioned it, yeah, they're all lyrics. A lot of them are lyricists, right? And I mean, even Jewel, in her own way, in her folk way, is a poetic kind of lyricist. So yeah.
When writing songs, where do you tend to pull your own inspiration from?
I think that is probably emotion and feeling. However, whatever I'm going through, whatever feelings, emotion I'm having, I just kind of start from there. I freestyle when I write, so I don't actually write music down. I just hit record and then and freestyle it. And whether I'm creating a storyline or it's something about me or whatever it is, it just kind of comes out of nowhere. I don't really understand it. And that's the way it's been since I was like age 11. I was writing like that. I ran away from music when I was younger because it freaked me out, all the attention, to be honest. I've kind of got a weird story there, but because I wanted it for myself when I was younger. And then in my mid 20s, I was like, I gotta just share it with people.
Well, we're going to get into your first song here, which is Milky Way. Do you want to tell us, just before we get into that, a little bit more about the song?
Yeah, Milky Way, I was kind of a feeling of just kind of just being in love, but realizing that we're a lot smaller than we're just I mean, there's a line in it about being a speck of light, and at the end of the day, we're just like this speck. Everybody's the same, and but it's a love song, so it's kind of what a lot of times I like people to kind of interpret songs the way they feel it, but I don't know, have a listen and you can see.
All right, perfect. Well, we're going to let our listeners hear that now. So on Up Close and Musical, here's Joe Borowski's Milky Way.
Your warm breath, your bright eyes, your smooth skin lying beside hint of love, scent of rain, no more lies, no more lies, just a speck of a light in the Milky Way. We'll burst, just a speck of a light in the Milky Way. We'll burst, your crazy love, your wicked smile, the kind that drives me to drink, to hide the feelings you seek deep inside. Give me time, kill the pain, no more lies, no more lies, just a speck of a light in the Milky Way. We'll burst, just a speck of a light in the Milky Way. We'll burst, we'll burst, just a speck of a light
Welcome back to Up Close and Musical. I'm your host, Tess, and we're here with Joe Borowsky. Now, we were just listening, Joe, to your song Milky Way, and you're telling us that it was a love song. Now, going into your second song in a little bit here, Be My Fate. Tell us a bit more about Be My Fate.
Well, Be My Fate is a love song too, but it's different. It's more kind of like that fun kind of just a feeling of an escape, with someone that you want to be with. And that's kind of what I was kind of feeling through that song. And just like being on like an adventure or something. So the first one was like Milky Way was more kind of, it's more serious, whereas Be My Fate is more just kind of just, I don't know, like fun loving, kind of just being on an adventure.
So, Joe, what is your all-time favorite album? I know we were talking about a bunch of artists earlier, and that as you've grown up, you've gone through these different phases of different artists that you've drawn inspiration from. But if you had to pick one album, what album would you say would be your favorite?
Yeah, there's two that kind of come to mind, but definitely, I think the first one would be Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness from Smashing Pumpkins, the double album they did. That was a big influence on me, that album. I do have to say the Unplugged in New York by Nirvana was the other one.
Well, I think everybody loves that one.
Yeah,
That's a great one to pick to be your favorite, I got to say.
yeah, it's there. I love both of those albums. So yeah, they'd be probably two of my favorites albums that I grew up listening to.
And you mentioned, Joe, earlier that you've been playing music since you were 11. Do you happen to remember what the first song it was that you sang in front of everybody else?
Yeah, actually, I do remember my mother took me in the backyard, and she had collected a bunch of neighbors to hear me when I was about 12 or so. And or I might have been a bit older, I don't know, and it was Disarm by Smashing Pumpkins. That was the first song I ever played for anybody. And I had written a song called Alone, so I did that one too. But I do remember that.
And you were 12 when you wrote that song Alone.
Yeah. I was 12 years old, and there is an album out called Alone, but it's really super old, and it's out there. And when I listen to it now, I'm like, wow, man, I had a lot of deep stuff to say when I was like 12 or 11 years old. I couldn't believe it, but I've always been writing that way. So yeah, I was pretty young.
So if you had to pick one song out of all these songs that you've written so far to be featured on a television show, what would you choose?
One song that to be featured on a television show, honestly, probably Fire in My Breath is on the new album as well. And it's this album itself, even though these two songs that you're featuring today are love songs, the majority of this album is pretty aggressive, for me at least. And this song, Fire in My Breath, just has kind of some aggressive undertones to it. So I really dig it, and I think it sounds like something that could be on a television show, to be honest. Not like Sons of Anarchy or something, like something where,
a little more.
It is. It's got like it's
grungy.
just got something to it. It's just got some depth to it, and so far the people that have heard it as well really find it different than what I've written in the past. But yeah, I think that's probably more of a song for a TV show.
All right, perfect. One last question, and then we'll get back to your music and your final song there. But just for fun, Joe, just for fun tonight, what's your favorite concert that you've ever attended?
Man, it's such a hard question, but I think the Hip. I think when I saw the Tragically Hip last year, I think it was 2 years ago. I saw them locally in London, and I just thought it was amazing.
Well, you're one of
He's
those
just
lucky people that got one of those tickets.
It wasn't his farewell. Yeah, it was yeah, right. It was. I did get lucky, actually. It wasn't the farewell tour or anything like that, but it was the year before that. So I guess it was 2.
Okay.
But it was just amazing. Like I'd heard so many good things about it, and then when I went, I was kind of blown away at how talented he was. So yeah.
Oh, well, their shows are always just phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I'm glad I got to at least talk to someone who went to the show. I had stood no chance to get a ticket. There's no way. Well, Joe, I guess just before we get going here into Be My Fate, can you tell us and our listeners where they can find you online?
Yeah. Well, my main website's just joeborowsky.com. That's the easiest way to get in touch with me. Facebook.com/Joe Borowsky. Twitter is Joe Borowsky as well. And I think Instagram is Joe Borowsky Music. I think somebody took Joe Borowsky or something and put my picture up or something. I thought that was very strange, but I went to make it and it said it was taken. I was like, really? There's no other Joe.
What's going on? And just for everybody out there, Borowsky is Borowsky.
Yes.
Perfect. So Joe, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us tonight on Up Close and Musical. And we'll finish it off here with your song, Be My Fate. Have a great night.
One more time in San Francisco, one more night in LA, walking down in the shadows of autumn, listening to this old guitar play. And you say that you will be my fate, the only lover, so we'll be, it's you and me. We're gonna find our freedom, take this train so far away, so far away, so far away. Sunny days or days of rain, we'll love each other just the same. Hold me close and kiss the pain. Forget those monsters, they've gone away. And you say that you will be my fate, the only lover, so we'll be, it's you and me. We're gonna find our freedom, take this train so far away, 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 so far away. And in dark times, when skies are gray, I'll move those clouds so far away. I'll promise you that if you stay, I'll shine a light for you to find your way. And you say that you will be my fate, the only lover, so we'll be, it's you and me. We're gonna find our freedom, take this train so far